Loneliness can be a profound feeling, especially after age 60. Perhaps you have noticed how friends and family members, over time, drift apart or change, leaving an emotional void. The house that was once filled with laughter or conversation now seems quieter, and that empty space seems to remind you of something you cannot avoid. Loneliness has become a constant presence. But here's something I want you to know. Loneliness doesn't have to be an enemy. It can be a gateway to something incredibly liberating, a space to discover yourself, to rediscover yourself, to do all the things you never gave yourself permission to do. If you've felt trapped by this feeling, let me tell you that there is a way to turn those moments of loneliness into moments of freedom, self-discovery, and full enjoyment of life. Many of us reach this stage of life loaded with experiences, postponed dreams, things we wanted to do but put aside, and loneliness, although it may feel uncomfortable at first, can become fertile ground where you can plant new seeds. What if I told you that now is the perfect time to start doing everything you've always wanted to do? The question is, do you dare to see it that way? For many, loneliness means boredom, sadness, or disconnection. But if we look a little deeper, it can be the opportunity you've been waiting for to create a life with purpose, without the external pressures you couldn't escape before. It's the freedom to decide how you want to spend your days, choosing what fulfills you, what you're passionate about, what makes you feel alive. Instead of thinking of loneliness as something you don't need, why not consider this the perfect time to redefine what life means to you? After all, life doesn't end at 60. It's the beginning of a new stage, a stage where you can be the best version of yourself without the limitations you may have felt in the past. I invite you to look at loneliness differently. Instead of seeing it as a burden, start seeing it as an opportunity to rediscover your passion, to reconnect with yourself, and to do what truly makes you happy. Freedom is in your hands, and you can use it to create a life full of meaning. Now is the time to change the narrative and stop seeing loneliness as a void. Let's see how you can turn this feeling into something positive, into a tool for personal growth. Let's start with some simple steps to make the most of those moments of solitude. Loneliness as a space for self-discovery. The first thing you need to do is give yourself the space to rediscover yourself. Sometimes, what we really need is not to be surrounded by people, but to be able to hear our own voice. Solitude gives you that, a space to think, reflect, and reconnect with your dreams and desires. Start with something simple. If you have a forgotten passion, now is the time to explore it again. Maybe you once loved painting, writing, or playing an instrument. Solitude is the perfect opportunity to rediscover those activities that made you feel good. It doesn't matter if you're not an expert. The important thing is to enjoy the process without pressure or expectations. Take your time to enjoy the calm and satisfaction that comes from doing something just for yourself. Imagine that every day, for an hour, you immerse yourself in an activity you are passionate about. You can start with a painting, a gardening project, or writing a few lines in a journal every day. These types of activities not only fill the void of loneliness, but they also give you a purpose. They allow you to create something unique, something that belongs only to you. Remember that self-discovery is an ongoing process, not something that happens overnight. But little by little, you will see how your well-being improves and how you begin to feel more connected to yourself. Volunteering, the connection that transforms. Another way to take advantage of solitude is through volunteering. It may seem counterintuitive, but the best way to break out of emotional isolation is to connect with others in a deep and meaningful way. Volunteering is an incredible way to do this. It's not just about giving, but also about receiving. The emotional gratification you get from helping others is unmatched. There are many ways to contribute to your community, whether it's helping out at a food bank, volunteering your time at a nursing home, or participating in local activities that need volunteers. Volunteering allows you to bond with other people, share experiences, and most importantly, feel like you're part of something bigger than yourself. This type of connection, even through a simple act of kindness, can be transformative. It helps you break out of the cycle of loneliness, allows you to feel useful and valuable, and above all, gives you a purpose that fills that emotional void. The act of helping not only benefits those who receive, but also has a positive impact on your own well-being. When we give, we feel more connected, more alive, and less isolated. In addition, volunteering can open doors to meeting people with similar interests, which can lead to new friendships. Make new friends and activities. Sometimes when life changes, so do our friendships. Over the years, many of us lose touch with old friends or find that the people around us are no longer as close. But as with volunteering, there are other ways to create new connections. If you feel like loneliness is taking over, why not try joining a club or interest group? It could be a book club, a cooking class, or even a walking or yoga group. Participating in group activities gives you the opportunity to meet new people and share common interests. Although it may seem difficult to step outside your comfort zone at first, it's a necessary step to break out of your routine and start seeing loneliness as an opportunity to open new doors to friendship. What if I told you that loneliness can be your greatest ally? Loneliness doesn't have to be something to fear. On the contrary, it can be your greatest ally on the journey to self-discovery. It gives you the space to grow, to learn, to connect with what you're truly passionate about. And in the process, it can lead you to new adventures, new friendships, and new ways of feeling useful. So today, I invite you, take advantage of solitude to live freely, to explore what you've always wanted to do, and to find within yourself the strength to move forward. This is your moment to shine, to transform solitude into a space of infinite possibilities. If you've ever felt that loneliness is an enemy, I hope you now see that it's simply an opportunity waiting to be seized. It's your moment. And if you're ready to seize it, subscribe to this channel, share this video with someone who also needs this message, and leave a comment about how you're going to use your loneliness to transform your life. Because living with purpose has no age limit, and you deserve to live a life full of freedom and meaning at any age. When we look at it from another angle, loneliness can be our greatest ally. While it's natural to feel sad or empty when we're alone, it's also an opportunity for self-discovery, to rediscover the passion for life that we once put aside. After 60, many feel disconnected from life, especially after the major transitions we all face: children leaving home, the loss of loved ones, or even retirement. But what if I told you that this is the perfect time to reimagine your life, to rediscover what truly makes you happy? The first thing you need to understand is that you are not alone in feeling lonely. Loneliness is a universal experience, especially at stages of life like this. But that loneliness, while uncomfortable, is the gateway to something completely new. It is an opportunity to free yourself from the expectations of the outside world and start living according to what you truly desire. What I want to tell you today is that loneliness can be the first step toward freedom. It gives you the opportunity to break old routines, leave behind what no longer serves you, and start walking towards something new, something that makes you feel alive again. It can be a path of self-exploration, personal growth, and discovery of new passions. It doesn't matter if you're looking for something new to do, if you'd like to take a class, if you want to learn to paint, or if you just need time to reflect on your life. It's all within your reach. Remember, the years are not a sentence. They are an opportunity to start something wonderful and meaningful. If you ever thought that life could no longer surprise you, I want you to know that this is only the beginning. The freedom that comes with solitude is the gift that allows you to make decisions without pressure. It is the space where you can rebuild your life on your own terms. But how do you start? The first key is to see loneliness as a space to take care of yourself. The idea of self-care on your own isn't just about the body, but also the soul. When we're alone, we have the power to focus on ourselves, our emotions, and our needs. I invite you to take a moment each day to sit in silence, breathe, and reconnect with what you're feeling. It can be as simple as a few minutes of meditation, a quiet walk, or even a relaxing bath. Just creating a space of calm will help you feel refreshed, more centered, and more at peace with yourself. Now, what happens when you find that space of calm and start exploring what truly fulfills you? Solitude should not only be a place where you find comfort, but also a place where new doors open. If you've ever had a forgotten dream, now is the time to revive it. Solitude is your perfect companion for creating, innovating, and learning without rushing. It's the perfect time to embrace that project you always put off because life was too busy. Over the years, you may have felt pressured by external expectations, the expectations of your children, your job, society. But right now, you can let go of those constraints. Now is your time, and that means you can do what you've always wanted to do, just for the sheer pleasure of doing it. Let solitude fuel your creativity and curiosity. It's never too late to start something new. If you dare to change your perspective, you'll see how your moments of solitude become moments of exploration, growth, and true connection with yourself. Solitude is also an excellent catalyst for reconnecting with nature and the world around you. If you haven't already tried it, maybe it's time to spend more time outdoors, enjoy a walk in the park, listen to the sounds of nature. Going for a walk in the sunshine not only has benefits for your body, it also has benefits for your mind. Nature has incredible healing power, and often the simple act of breathing fresh air and being at peace with the outside world can help us renew our perspective. The important thing here is to remember that you are not alone in your loneliness. There are many people in the world who are also going through the same thing as you, and how you choose to approach this stage can make the difference between feeling lost or feeling full of purpose. If you are willing to embrace loneliness as a gift, to learn to enjoy your own company, and to make the decision to live authentically, you will be creating a path to a fuller, richer, and more meaningful life. This stage of your life does not have to be lonely or sad. It can be your best stage if you decide to see loneliness as a springboard to freedom, creativity, and connection with yourself. So, I invite you to embrace loneliness and transform it into an opportunity, because in reality, loneliness is just the beginning of something beautiful. Are you ready to make this stage one of the most brilliant of your life? If what we've shared today resonated with you, I invite you to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more tips and strategies on how to transform every part of your life, no matter what stage you're in. Share this video with someone who might also find comfort and strength in this message. And of course, leave us a comment telling us how you're dealing with loneliness and what changes you've decided to make. We are here to support each other and walk together on this beautiful journey of life. Because in the end, the most important thing is that it's never too late to start. Freedom is waiting, and you deserve to live it to the fullest. Let's do it together.